Hi everybody, it's Pollo Del Mar, and today I'm going to show you how to create an eye that is dramatic enough for the stage, but subtle enough that you don't feel like you're overdoing it if you don't want your look to be too draggy. Of course, I think that the draggier the better, but hey. Now I'm going to come back in just a few minutes with my foundation already done and my eyebrows glued down. If you want to learn how to do your foundation the way I do my foundation, watch my video on that. And of course, please feel free to watch my YouTube tutorial on how to glue down your eyebrows. Meanwhile, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, of course Instagram, and we'll be back in a minute. Let's play with some makeup. Let me show you how to create this beautiful cut crease. You have to have a creamy foundation here, so you'll just use a light foundation in some kind of a cream. This is a TB pan stick from Kryolan. I'm going to run it along my eye. You can take a sponge. I'm going to come across that to pat it out a little bit. That's going to give me a nice sticky layer of makeup, which will allow all of my powders, which are upcoming, to adhere. Okay? Add a layer of our powder along my underneath my eye. That will allow us, of course, in case we drop any of these powders, that it will be able to just be brushed right off. And of course, generously applying powder to this area never hurts anyway. I have a pearlescent white powder, shimmer powder here, and I'm going to take just a dab of that on a simple brush. Come along the top of where we're adding the highlight of where our brow will be. Bring it down. It's going to be along the whole upper portion of the eye. And I'm going to bring it down quite a ways. I'm going to take a nice big fluffy brush like this and my color palette. This is a deep eggplant right here. It looks brown, but it's actually a deep eggplant color. It's actually called eggplant. And I'm going to come in with that. A nice dark brown color. I love Congo by Kryolan. It would actually work on this too. So I'm going to start right here by the inner portion of the eye, and I'm going to come out making along the crease all the way from the inner of the eye all the way to the outside. And we're going to make a nice little area here, leaving this under portion along the eye open for us, and then we're going to blend it out, okay? You do it, or watch while I do it, and then do it yourself. Now with that done, I'm going to just brush a little bit of the excess off of the brush, and then I have right here this deep kind of a plum color. It's a beautiful purplish plum color. I'm just going to add that right on top of whatever's in there already, because they're going to be blending on my eye anyway. And I'm just going to trace along the edge of that with the purple, okay? And now I have next to it this bright orange color right here. Add that along. So we're just layering these over top of one another, as you can see. Got a nice fluffy little brush here. And then I'm just going to come and buff these two all together. Just blend it a little bit. It'll let me notice where I need to add more color. I'm going to need to add more of the orange because I want it to match up with this one. We got quite a bit of orange out here, so we're going to put more orange here. Come back into the purple color again. I just want to deepen that right here where they meet. Buff it together. Now I'm going to come underneath it with a small little brush like this, and I've got a black in my palette. Grab the black, being very careful because of the fact that this is where that underneath the eye thing is really going to be dangerous. And I'm going to come along the very tippy edge of that burgundy color because I want to make it kind of, I want to blacken that in to give myself a solid and dark crease. Take your time with this because we want it to be dark, we want it to be nice. Now, we're at the side here, and we're going to build a little wing up anyway, which will later on blend into our eyeliner, our liquid eyeliner. So I'm going to get a little bit of extra black. Can you see how I've come around, down, and then up a little bit along here? Give a nice darkness in there. We're going to go back now to the same brush, fluffy kind of brush that we used for the burgundy, the eggplant, and the orange. So we're going to come into that purple again, and we're going to come over top of it because we want to blend that black up into the purple. So just hit at the edge of where they meet and blend it out. Get it blended. Let's go back along it one more time real quick to make sure that we got a nice solid edge of black, because we're creating a cut crease here. That black is the crease that we're creating. It's going to give us a nice visual. It's going to be stunning, really. Now, what are we supposed to do with this under eye part? Where you see I have the orange in there? Well, remember, we need a tacky surface. And it's still a little tacky, but I'm going to give you a secret. If you watched my perfectly arched eyebrow tutorial, you already know this trick. But a simple product that I bought at Walgreens does amazing on acting as a form of whiteout for any kind of mistakes you might make with your makeup. And here we want to make this perfect black crease, and we want to make this area tacky so that we can put this orange pigment on, right? So we're going to use this beautiful L'Oreal True Match. This is a W123. It's the lightest color they have. In there, come into that area of my eye, along the area where I just put that black. Dab it all over. Being careful along the black because we want it to be a nice solid line. I'm going to take the same sponge I used for the lightest color of my foundation, which I just kept handy. While it's still wet, tacky, I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Professional Star Powder number 952. It's a bright orange color. It's a pigment. Oh, and since we're using a pigment, remember, extra powder, because this will be a mess if it falls on your cheeks. So, got a brush dedicated to this stuff because it never comes out, really. So pretty, though. See, it's already falling on my eye, underneath my eye, so good thing I had that on there, right? That extra powder. Well, we have the opportunity to brush off that excess before it starts to make a mess. Get it off you, brush it away. Even with the extra powder, because of how pigmented it is, it still stained my under eye a little bit. So we're going to come back over that quickly with some white powder to tone that down. I'm going to come back along the line of the orange and the black just to blend that area together because there's a little bit of distinction there and we don't want that. Find yourself a nice creamy eye pencil because that's going to be really, really helpful for you in this one. I got a nice one that I love. It's a dark black one. Start with your inner eye and come out towards the edge. Got it? Now I have this brush. I'm going to go back into that black powder a little bit. This is where I'm trying to smoke it out a little bit. I'm going to come along underneath that with a brown color. Just to add a little bit of depth. Now, along the top, take a liquid liner. Have you ever gotten liquid liner in your eye? Oh my god, it burns so badly. This is going to take a second to dry, so don't rush it. Let it dry. Keep your eye closed. Fanning my eye like I just farted. Did I say that? My outside voice, sorry. I'm going to take that same brush I used the luminescent powder in. I got a little bit of white powder here. This is just a crushed white powder from Maron. I want to come in to the inner eye. I have this fuzzy brush. Allows me to like get the excess powder off of areas without ruining anything. The way I like to draw on the eyebrows, or the way I've been recently shown to draw on the eyebrows, we're going to start with a creamy pencil like this. You know, one of the kind that's retractable. So take it, slowly draw the line. I'm going to come back over top of it with the darkest color I use for my contour. Now, your darkest color might not be as dark as mine, but we're going to come back in. I've got this angled brush and this dark cream. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to take a similar angled brush like this, which I use for the powder. I've got this is the Congo Brown I mentioned from Kryolan. It is a powder I love to use also for my contour. I'm going to cover the entire cream with this brown powder, setting it. Now I'm going to take that same fluffy brush I said I used to brush things away without it messing anything up. I'm just going to use that to apply my setting powder along this. Even though I set it with the brown, I still need to come over it with that setting powder. We are almost done. So I'm going to now just put on lashes, and I'll be back with the final product. You know how to put on a lash, right? And here we are, we're back with the final product on these eyes. I hope that you've learned something from the tutorial, and if you've enjoyed yourself while watching it, please feel free, no, definitely, I implore you, subscribe to my channel, and of course, leave me a thumbs up. Nothing like a man hand next to a pretty lady face. Give me a thumbs up here on the video. Remember, makeup is supposed to be fun, so if it's not, you might be doing something wrong. And my name is Pollo Del Mar. I'll talk to you guys soon.